So before we get into it, Frank was a good work colleague of mine from long ago, but we stayed in touch because we had the same interests, mainly football, and shared a great sense of humour. Well, after he retired, thought he would come to Thailand as he had heard stories and wanted to relive a midlife crisis and find out if it was for him. That's his humour. 65 is midlife to him. So he got his ticket and decided to come. I arranged my go-to taxi service to meet him at the airport. He duly arrived in Pattaya at about 9 a.m. Although far tired from his journey, he was fired up, ready to go. I met him at his hotel about midday. The Golden Tulip, North Pattaya, fantastic hotel with great amenities. And we took a taxi ride into central Pattaya. We sat in a quietish bar overlooking the beach, and there we discussed life in general for most of the afternoon. Mate, I said, when you go out tonight, have your wits about you, I explained. Business transaction. The girls are here to make money, not love. Safety. Put a helmet on the soldier as he goes into battle. What else should I know? He asked. So I explained bar fines, lady drinks. He knew nothing of any of this kind. Although I had said to him lots of times, spend a couple of hours a day on YouTube because you will learn important tips, pros and cons about life here. And the other girls extract as much money as possible from you because it's their job. They're saleswomen. General tips about safety in your hotel room, etc. Use the room safe. Put your phone, your cash, your valuables inside the hotel safe. I may as well have been talking to the pavement because he seemed as deaf as I am, but without the hearing aids. That evening we met up again, and oh my God, he was running on pure adrenaline. We went to my favourite bar in Pattaya. You should know the one if you've seen my videos. I thought go there to ease him in because Soy 6 would have blown his mind. Within half an hour, a few drinks later, and chatting to a few girls, he said to me, yes, mate, I've pulled. Bless him, I thought to myself. You've not pulled. You have entered into a business transaction, mate. I told him 3 or 4 times to have fun. There's no feelings from her side. It's no more than that. It's a business transaction. So the next day we met up again, and he was on cloud nine, absolute cuckoo land. Oh, mate, she was fantastic. 10 out of 10. Great woman. They had a really good time. I'll leave it at that. You can imagine what went on. You're on your own tonight, mate, I'm afraid. I said, to be good, be wise, have your wits about you, and above all, be safe. I had daily updates for 2 or 3 days and then nothing for a few days. So I called him. This is when I started to worry. Not because I hadn't heard from him, but because of what he had said. Just a little quickie. Stay to the end of the video and I will give you my top hotel tip. It could end up saving you a lot of money and a lot of aggravation if you do pick the wrong hotel. So just stay to the end of the video for that. Oh, sorry, mate, not been in touch. I went to Soy 6 and, mate, oh my God, found a fantastic girl. Only just arrived in town. She speaks good English, though, so no need for Google Translate. She's only come to work in the bar scene because she doesn't like Thai men. And I am the first Western bloke that she's ever been out with or slept with. Isn't that fantastic? So this is my red flag number one. If a girl is fluent in English, then it is in fact, or shall we say, a big indicator that she has been working in the bar scene for a long time. You do not become fluent in a language if you work in the fields amongst Thai speaking people. And Frank believed that he was the first ever Western, shall we call it, Western friend. Bar girls will often say this to make you feel special. Wow, I am the first Western man she has ever had. I must be a very, very lucky man. And as for not liking Thai men, she probably does have a Thai boyfriend, husband, and kids, but she will not admit to this because this is part of the game. One little tip, look for the stretch marks. Anyway, mate, as he went on, I bar find her for a week. It was 7,000 baht, but that's okay. I was paying a bar fine every night anyway, so that's exactly the same money. Okay, mate, I said. And did you work out a price with her? Yes, mate, yes. I paid 3,000 for one night, but then decided she was the one for me, so I bar fined her for a whole week. 7,000 baht for the bar fine, and she only asked for 11,000 baht. So, mate, I'm quids in. 7 nights for the price of 3.5. Quids in, mate, quids in. I'm also the first Western bloke she'd been with. All I could say to him was, have fun, mate. Keep your wits about you. Keep it real, mate. It's a business transaction, nothing more than that. But have fun. Enjoy yourself. Anyway, the week passed, and Frank returned home to Pattaya. His room was still there. He had paid for 2 weeks anyway. So it was his and it was empty. We met up once he got back, and he was confident that he had a great time and a great value as well. So we met out on the beach again. How did it go, mate? I asked him. Oh, fantastic. We flew to Koh Samui. It's beautiful. Flights were okay too. Only £110 each. So we sat there, had a few beers, and we unravelled it all. And she'd forgotten most of her clothes, but clothes are so cheap in Thailand, he said. Only 500 baht for a dress. So I bought her a couple of dresses. Oh, and some shoes she really liked. I bought those for her. And some trainers for the daytime. They eat a lot, don't they? I asked inquisitively. Oh, mate, 5 or 6 times a day. 3 or 4 plates of breakfast. But we were burning some calories, he said, with a little wink. Breakfast was free in the hotel, though, mate. So that was good. Quids in, mate. Quids in. Oh, she liked her cocktails too. Frank tried some cocktails, but he's always been essentially a beer man. So she was a good, happy girl all the time, I asked. His face lost its smile a little bit with that. Every time we went to 7-Eleven, or she offered to go for me, she always brought back extra stuff, like creams and makeup stuff and stuff like that. And after I mentioned it, she did sulk for a little while, but he went on, that it was only a couple of 100 baht a time, and as she said, she wanted to look beautiful for him tonight. So that's great, he thought. The most expensive thing, he went on, little frown appearing on his face, was a bikini, or rather 2 bikinis. They was 1,000 baht each, because she didn't want to wear the same bikini every day. But she looked fantastic in them, he went on, his little smile coming back broader and broader, and showed me some of the 1,000 or so photos he had taken, all in a deliberate, provocative pose to take his mind off the cost. Is there anything you didn't like about her? I asked. No, not really. The only regret, she wouldn't do the motorbike taxis and stuff like that. I love the idea of those, but she wanted proper taxis or VIP taxis because I was a VIP, so she kept saying. Yeah, Frank, I remember you saying when I called you, your first expression from the old days, quids in, mate, quids in. So, what did it all cost? Well, I won't bore you with the details, but he did write it all down, and his face dropped a little bit then. But we will go into it a little bit. This is roughly what he wrote down, or a little summary. The airfares, 5,000 baht each. Taxi fares, at least 3,000 baht. But I was in the taxi as well, he tried to explain, and dismissed the cost. Clothes and shopping, 4,500 baht he paid there. 7-Eleven for makeup, 2,000 baht. Food and drink, 6,000 baht. Wait for it. Cocktails, 5 a day. Up to 400 baht each, 10,000 baht. Just for cocktails down her neck. Trips and days out to the sites, 6,000. So her cost was 3,000 of that. Total cost, 34,000 baht. Plus her cost, 11,000 baht. Plus a bar fine, 7,000 baht. That totals up at 52,000 baht. Effing hell, he said, as the realisation sunk in. And then he further realised he'd paid for his hotel in Pattaya and 6 nights in Koh Samui as well at 2,000 baht a night. So, that little week, quids in week, 64,000 baht. Plus, of course, his airfare and his other stuff like the trips and stuff like that. But we won't factor that in because his heart's not as good as it used to be. I've been played, haven't I? I've been played, he asked, hoping I wouldn't agree. Look, mate, I said, look on the bright side. You had a great time with a good girl, and if you had stayed in Pattaya, you would spend the 7,000 on bar fines and 3,000 a night, plus 1,000 on lady drinks. So it would have cost you 34,000 anyway. So you did an extra 30,000 baht. So what's the big deal? Well, but we didn't do it every night, mate. Even I wanted a day off, he said. We both laughed, put our glasses together and said, yes, mate, you've been played. Welcome to Thailand. He did, however, insist, and so did she, to her absolute credit, to practice safe, shall we say, exercise, calorie burning exercises. They always made sure there was a helmet on the soldier as he went into battle. So good old Frank had a night off before exploring some of Pattaya's bars, clubs, and go-go bars. He would always start off at his and mine favourite bar, the Four Seas Bar on Second Road. Have a meal by the 747 just along the road, and then head off to explore. He even rang the staff-only bell on his last night before leaving. He was absolutely itching to do this and thoroughly enjoyed the cheers and the greetings. And of course, before he went home, he went on a motorbike taxi every day and saw some of the sights and cultural places that the place has to offer. Although he did follow advice, and when he was 3 sheets to the wind and had been in the bars and the club all night, he would get a Bolt or a Grab taxi back to his hotel. Do not get on a motorbike when you are a bit, shall we say, tipsy. It's not a very good idea, especially if you've got a young lady in tow. Get a taxi. Be safe. He went to see some cultural places, as I said. He went to the Sanctuary of Truth Museum. He absolutely adored that place. He actually went twice. It was quite lucky because it was right next to the Golden Tulip Hotel that he was staying in. So it was just 50 baht on the motorbike taxi to get there, and the same back to his hotel, I presume. He also went to see the Big Buddha. I've done videos on both of these places. I'll link it in the description below. He likes to do the culture, does Frank. It was actually Frank who implanted the phrase in my mind. You've got to mix the culture with the vulture. He has since returned home to the UK and has scheduled a return trip a year older and a hell of a lot wider. So what have we learnt from Frank? It may sound a lot cheaper to take a holiday girlfriend, but the hidden costs mount up massively. If it's not a problem, then it's not a problem. Just be aware of them. It's actually, even with the cost, it's actually a lot cheaper than taking a girlfriend for your own country on a holiday in your own country. You're in Thailand, enjoy yourself. And also, in Frank's case, if you book a hotel for 2 weeks, stay in it, or at least ask if you can check out early and return later. And now, my hotel tip that I've been promised from the beginning of the video. It's best to book for a few days on your first visit, as you can 90% of the time extend your stay if you like it. But if you do not like the hotel or the area, then you're not committed to stay there, and you can spend that 2 or 3 days looking for a hotel that's more suitable for you and suitable to the area that you want to be in. A quieter area, a more lively area, just an area that suits you and you only. If you ask, then they would normally let you see the rooms and the facilities as well if you go up to the front desk and ask. It's always worth doing this.
If you like this video, then please hit the like button.
And subscribe to this channel, it is free to do.
I was just about to say subscribe as well.
And leave a comment for the deaf bloke.
Like, subscribe and comment so the deaf man keeps walking.